So now we move to the final walkthrough. So as you know, ito ay ginagawa ng crime scene investigation team leader. Okay, so the CSI team leader conducts a final walkthrough at the conclusion of the scientific crime scene processing to ensure that all parts of the identified crime scene are carefully inspected and thoroughly searched. All recovered pieces of evidence at the crime scene are properly accounted for. In the same light, the chain of custody of evidence must be properly maintained until all the pieces of physical evidence are brought to the forensic science laboratory for identification. So basically, the final walkthrough is the last thing the CSI does. Kasi 'di ba, natapos na ang collection and nabanggit natin before na collection is part of the last part ng crime scene investigation, 'di ba? So, ang huli sa mga gagawin is again, final walkthrough. Ginagawa ito ng CSI team leader para lang masiguro na nakolekta lahat ng ebidensya na sila mismo yung mga gamit ng Soko ay nakolekta na nilang lahat, walang maiiwan. In other words, this is just double checking. Ito yung final walkthrough. Final survey or the final walkthrough of the scene is actually a critical review of the scene. It ensures that all pieces of physical evidence have been properly collected and the scene has been thoroughly processed prior to release. It also ensures that pieces of physical evidence as well as tools or materials used in the processing of the crime scene are not intentionally or carelessly left behind. Ayun na nga, para masiguro lang na nakolekta lahat ng ebidensya, yung mga na-mark na evidence, nakolekta ng lahat, and lahat din ng gamit ng Soko ay nakolekta na rin. Likewise, any dangerous materials or conditions have been reported and addressed. Then next would be crime scene debriefing. Doon sa first part ng scientific crime scene investigation, ang nagkakandak ng briefing is the first responder doon sa team leader. Now, sa crime scene debriefing naman, after the conduct of the final survey of the crime scene and prior to its release, it is very desirable if the crime scene investigators, investigator on case, yung galing sa estasyon, and other law enforcement officers who attended to the crime scene initiate a crime scene debriefing where they will share among themselves information regarding their preliminary observations at the crime scene. They can also discuss unusual things they encountered at the scene, including pieces of physical evidence collected, and act on any problem or issues identified during their discussion to complete the crime scene investigation. So mag-uusap-usap lahat ng mga tao o lahat ng mga officers na nandun. Yung Soko, investigators on case, and kung meron pang ibang agencies na involved, yon, mag-uusap-usap sila, pag-uusapan nila kung ano yung mga ebidensyang nakuha, ano ang possible case, ano ang mga unusual things na nangyari at nahanap nila mula doon sa crime scene. Basically, everything about the crime scene, they will talk about it in the crime scene debriefing. Crime scene debriefing provides the opportunity for all those who performed the scientific processing of the crime scene, including the investigator on case and other law enforcement officers who responded to the crime scene, to discuss pertinent issues with respect to the crime scene kung nagkaroon nga ng mga problema or other issues which they had processed, as well as the following investigation to be conducted and other relevant matters that are needed to be performed by assigned personnel to facilitate the investigation of a violent crime. This process will ensure that no stone is left unturned in the investigation of a criminal case and will help much in the successful prosecution of the perpetrator of the crime. Katulad nga ng sinabi natin kanina, ito nga ay para mapag-usapan nila kung papaano magpupush through doon sa pagsasampa or investigation nung case. And then next would be release of the crime scene. Nung una, ang first responders or the investigator on case, sila ang may responsibility doon sa crime scene, and then they pass that responsibility to the Soko. Dahil yung Soko, sila nga ang magpo-process ng crime scene. And after processing the crime scene, ibabalik nila ang crime scene doon sa investigator on case. And this is the release of the crime scene. The responding CSI team will formally turn over the crime scene to the investigator on case only when they are fully convinced that complete processing of the crime scene has been conducted. It means that all pieces of physical evidence that were found in the crime scene were properly collected and documented because they are certain that there is only a single chance for them to accurately process the crime scene. Kasi nga, isang beses ka lang talaga pwedeng mag-process ng crime scene. kapag nakolekta mo na ang isang ebidensya, hindi mo naman pwedeng ibalik yun. Kahit nga hindi mo pa nakolekta kapag nahawakan mo na ang isang ebidensya, hindi mo na siya maibabalik sa saktong-saktong pwesto niya. Hindi ba? Kaya nga, isang beses lang, one time lang, single chance lang ang pag-process ng crime scene. Kaya it has to be done perfectly. The CSI team leader documents the turnover of the crime scene, whereas the investigator on case confirms the release of the crime scene in the presence of the witnesses. The results from the questioning of the suspects and interview of witnesses must be properly evaluated in relation to the pieces of physical evidence recovered in the crime scene to ensure an airtight case in court. Kumbaga, 'di ba, doon na sa istasyon kapag nag-conduct na ng interview, ng interrogation, kung ano man yung mga masasabi doon sa interview and interrogation, it has to still be corroborated with the pieces of evidence collected from the crime scene. Baka naman kasi sabi nung suspect, binaril ko po, pero wala namang nakitang gunshot wound mula doon sa victim. Walang bala, walang basyo, walang baril mula doon sa crime scene. Ang meron, stab wounds. Meron nakita kutsilyo. So, hindi nagmamatch yung sinasabi nung suspect, diba? So, kung ganun ang case, then you do not have an airtight case in court. Kailangan mong humanap ng ibang suspect. Upon the formal release of the crime scene to the proper authority, a search warrant will already be required for the re-examination of the scene. Kasi 'di ba, kapag na-release na ang crime scene, ibig sabihin wala nang responsibility yung SOCO doon. Kapag tingin ng mga investigators may naiwan ang SOCO o may kailangan pa silang kolektahin after having it released, yung crime scene, hindi na pwedeng pumasok doon basta-basta. Kailangan na ng search warrant. And then we have crime scene reconstruction. So, pag sinabi nating reconstruction, means before or ulit. So, reconstruct, uulitin mo yung pagbuo doon sa crime scene. How do you do that? It is often useful to determine the actual course of a crime by limiting the possibilities that resulted in the crime scene or the physical evidence as encountered. The possible need to reconstruct the crime scene is one major reason for maintaining the integrity of a crime scene. Crime scene reconstruction is the process of determining or eliminating the events and actions that occurred at the scene through analysis of the crime scene pattern, the location and position of the physical evidence, and the laboratory examination of the physical evidence. So, in crime scene reconstruction, bubuuhin nyo nga ulit yung crime scene. And hindi lang yung crime scene, the moments that happened before the actual crime has been committed. Paano pumasok yung perpetrator doon sa bahay? Paano ginawa yung crime? Saan kinuha yung murder weapon? Saan kinuha yung mga gamit na nakita doon sa crime scene na hindi naman pagmamay-ari ng may-ari ng bahay? So, yon. In crime scene reconstruction, kumbaga, para siyang somehow para siyang reenactment ng mga pangyayari. Para makita kung yung sinabi doon sa interview and interrogation, yun na nga, nagmamatch doon sa pieces of evidence, doon sa posisyon ng ebidensya na nakita doon sa crime scene. Reconstruction not only involves scientific scene analysis, interpretation of the scene pattern evidence, and laboratory examination of physical evidence, and it also involves the systematic study of related information and the logical formulation of a theory. Reconstruction is considered a scientific fact-gathering process. Reconstruction generally involves a group of actions that will set the stage for crime reconstruction. So the following are the 5 separate stages commonly used in the process of reconstruction. So here's the stages in reconstruction. Number 1, data collection. So, data collection, all information or documentation information obtained at the crime scene from the victim or witnesses. Data including condition of the evidence, obvious patterns and impressions, condition of the victim are all reviewed, organized, and studied. Then we have conjecture. Before any detailed analysis of the evidence is obtained, a possible explanation or conjecture of the events involved in a criminal act may be done. So, pag sinabing conjecture, parang ito yung idea. Possible na nangyari, that's conjecture. But it must not become the only explanation being considered at this stage. Kumbaga, ito yung sa tingin mong nangyari, pero hindi ka pa talaga sure. Kasi wala ka pa naman talagang ginagawa, di ba? Nasa second stage ka pa lang, yung una mong ginawa, nag-collect ka pa lang ng data. Kumbaga, wala pa ng ibang interpretation talaga. Haka-haka pa ito. It is only a possibility. There may be several more possible explanations too. Number 3 is hypothesis formulation. Further accumulation of data is based on the examination of the physical evidence and the continuing investigation. Scene examination and inspection of the physical evidence must be done. Scene and evidence examination includes interpretation of bloodstain and impression patterns, gunshot patterns, fingerprint evidence, and analysis of trace evidence. This process leads to the formulation of an educated guess as to the probable cause of events, a hypothesis. So here, in this stage, educated guess na siya. Although guess siya, pero meron ka ng mga basehan. Dahil nag-data collection ka na and may mga pieces of evidence na mula doon sa crime scene, diba? And then nag-continue pa yung investigation. Pinagsama-sama yon, magkakaroon ka ng hypothesis. And then fourth stage is testing. Once a hypothesis is formulated, further testing must be done to confirm or disprove the overall interpretation or specific aspects of the hypothesis. This stage includes comparisons of samples collected at the scene with known standards and alibi samples, chemical, microscopic, and other analysis and testing. Controlled testing or experimentation of possible physical activity must be done to collaborate the reconstruction hypothesis. So in this stage, di ba nagkaroon ka na ng hypothesis, yung educated guess mo, itetest nyo ngayon. Possible ba talaga yung guess nyo na yon? So that's testing. This also includes analysis of the different pieces of evidence. Okay, so kasama na dyan yung chemical testing, chemical analysis, yung mga yan. In other words, nag-experiment ka na dito sa stage na to kasi nga testing na siya. And then the last stage is theory formation. Additional information may be acquired during the investigation about the condition of the victim or suspect, the activities of the individuals involved, accuracy of witness accounts, and other information about the circumstances surrounding the events. All the verifiable investigative information, physical evidence analysis and interpretation, and experimental results must be considered in testing and attempting to verify the hypothesis. When it has been thoroughly tested and verified by analysis, it can be considered a plausible theory. So theory, it is a structured na thinking kung ano yung possible na nangyari talaga. Teorya na siya. Yun na nga, structured siya. May explanation kung bakit ito ang nasa isip natin. Everything is based on verifiable investigative information, physical evidence analysis and interpretation, and experimental results. So, yung mga yan ang basehan ng theory. Kaya hindi basta-basta itong theory na to. Okay. There are also different types of reconstruction. There are many types of reconstruction depending on the nature of the crime, the questions needed to be answered, the types of events that have taken place, and the reconstruction that is based on the degree of involvement of the reconstructionist. As shown in the outline below, there are 5 common ways to classify the types of reconstruction services that may occur. The first one is accident reconstruction. So, pwedeng traffic accident reconstruction, kung papaano nangyari yung mga collision, kung vehicle to vehicle ba, vehicle to pedestrian, yan. Kung ano yung events before the collision, that's part of accident reconstruction or traffic accident reconstruction. Other transportation accident reconstruction such as in trains, airplanes, boat accidents, etc. Industrial or construction accident reconstruction. Yung mga on-the-job or employee accidents, building collapses, or machinery, yung mga yan. And then we also have specific type of incident reconstruction. Merong specific crime reconstruction. Papaano nangyari ang homicide? Papaano nangyari ang isang specific arson case? Papaano nangyari ang rape case, white-collar crime, and other specific crime scene reconstruction. Kung papaano yon, the events leading to the actual crime that has been committed, yan, that's part of specific crime reconstruction. And then we also have specific events reconstruction. Merong sequence determination. Ano yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga bagay-bagay? Paano nangyari? Ano yung mga pangyayari before the crime has been committed? Number 2 is directional determination, position determination, relational determination, conditional determination, and identity determination. Then we have degree of involvement reconstruction. Pwedeng total case reconstruction, lahat ng pangyayari nga kasama. Partial case reconstruction, baka yung isang event lang doon sa buong kaso ang ire-reconstruct, limited event reconstruction, and specific pattern reconstruction. Then we have specific type of physical evidence reconstruction. Dito naman, ebidensya lang ang ire-reconstruct, hindi na ang buong crime scene, hindi na yung events bago ang crime. So eto, again, ebidensya lang. Merong pattern evidence, then shooting investigation evidence, saan galing ang shooter, ito yung may mga trajectory, and then serological evidence. We also have special areas or determinations in reconstruction. First one is criminal profiling, including modus operandi, motive, and psychological determinations or organized or disorganized crime scene determination. And we also have scene profiling, primary scene or secondary scene determination. So, in criminal profiling, tao ang pinoprofile. In scene profiling, yung crime scene ang pinoprofile. Ano ang itsura niya? Ano yung mga clues? Ano yung ibig sabihin ng iba't ibang ebidensyang nakuha mo mula doon sa crime scene? So, this reconstruction process will follow the information gathering process that leads to the reconstruction theory. The theory incorporates all the previously discussed processing of the crime scene with its physical evidence and the investigator's knowledge of the value and use of forensic testing methods. The physical evidence resulting from the crime and found at the crime scene to be discussed with regards to reconstruction will be pattern evidence, shooting investigation evidence, and serological evidence. So, that's it. Crime scene reconstruction, hindi na yan ginagawa doon sa mismong crime scene. Ginagawa na yan sa office or doon sa laboratory. So, that's it for scientific crime scene investigation.